Okay, there's hardcovers. Nobody panicked, but there's hardcovers, okay? I'm panicking. Oh shit, okay. Hello beautiful bookworms, my name is Katarina and welcome to my channel, and today I am going to be doing the first book haul of the year, so my January books or books that were gifted to me and that I acquired in January, and I hope that you guys are excited. As usual, I'm just disclaiming that I didn't spend my money on these. People gifted to me because they know that I love books and I don't have that much money to spend on books, and I just get those that are really needed and important. Okay, so I'm a collector, that's what I do. Let's just not start with those arguments that people shouldn't buy books or people should, because everyone is different and it's a new year, so let's not judge. That's that. And without further ado, let's just go and get into the books that I got for January. So as usual, or as normally I can do, this is divided in manga and in books. So first of all, I'm going to show you the mangas that I got, and then I'm going to show you the books. So if you don't want to see any of those parts, be advised of what comes first. And yeah, that's going to be it. So let's just jump into the first one. So the first manga that I got for January is The Promised Neverland Volume 7. And this is by Kayu Shirai and Posuka Demisu. And this is finally having an adaptation, an anime adaptation. And it came out this month. I haven't watched it yet because I do believe there's 13 episodes to come out, or that already have. I am not sure. And I don't know if each episode, like, I probably know that the episodes won't get to the point where I'm at with the manga, but I don't want to get spoiled, so I at least want to read this one before diving into it, because this is the last one that actually came out in English. So I'm fairly excited to read this and to know more about this. This didn't make the cut for my favorite mangas of last year, simply for the reason that suddenly there was a genre mixture that I didn't find. There was something there, you know? So I really want to read this one to see if the feeling prevails or if I will love it again as I loved the first ones. So we will see. The second manga that I got was Tokyo Ghoul Re by Sue Hishida, and this one is volume 8. So as you probably know, if you've been in this channel for a while, I love Tokyo Ghoul, and Tokyo Ghoul Re is the sequel to Tokyo Ghoul. I am almost at the point of this story, so the only that I have to book, okay, today is hard. As I was saying, the only manga that I still have to read is this one, because it was the last one to come out and I still wasn't able to do so, but I really want to. But this one is a little bit more on the detail of the political matters between ghouls and the organization of counter ghouls, so between ghouls and humans, and a little bit more spaced out and philosophical than the first one was. So for me it is interesting because I really love how it's developing, but I do understand that for some people it can be a little bit jarring to get into this. But nevertheless, I recommend that you read Tokyo Ghoul, so the first big series of Tokyo Ghoul, because it is amazing, and this still remains one of my favorite series, which is kind of hard to do with a sequel where so much strange things happened and you're not actually into the stuff, so you have to be explained. I don't know, I really enjoyed how Suishida portrays the fight inside people, but also the fight between species, what it means to be a monster and who is right and if you have the right to be right. And I don't know, it's just so complex. It's really an interesting manga series. The next two mangas that I got are volumes 4 and 5 of Children of the Whales, and this is by Habi Umeda, and I have been reading this. I already finished the third one of Children of the Whales this year, and this barely like almost made the cut for one of my favorite series of last year, manga series. But the reason why I didn't, because I had only read 2 books, and I thought, I mean, there's just 2. I'm not going to say it's one of my favorites when I haven't read enough to know that I'm going to like it throughout the series. But I read the third one and I'm still loving it, and I'm watching these 2, and first of all, the covers for these manga series in particular are just so gorgeous. Like, can you see this? Because oh my god, nerdgasm. But At the same time, the story is really beautiful. If you love the sensation that Ghibli movies give to you, and you like to have your heart breaking into 1,000 little pieces, this is for you. This is amazing. This is about a group of people that live in a sand boat, in a sand island that is sort of a boat because it navigates throughout the sea. And some of them have powers, and the ones that have powers, they pass away really young because their bodies can't comprise all of the powers. And then there's the elders that are the ones that don't have powers. And those people don't know why they're in that island, and they've lived their whole lives there. And one day, someone comes from the sky and starts trying to kill them. And then you find out what they're doing in the island, who they are, and what they have to do to survive. And it's really interesting. It definitely feels like a Ghibli movie, and these covers are just, this is so gorgeous, and the art inside is beautiful. I'm not going to open these because I don't want to spoil myself, but take my word for it, it's just so gorgeous. And the next one is a prized jewel of my collection, and you all gonna know what this is if you've been paying attention, because this is Full Metal Alchemist Volume 3 in the Full Metal Edition, which sparkles! And one of my favorite characters right here on the cover. I mean, can it get better? Because it cannot get better. I'm just answering to you right now. It's just, this cover, I mean, this is life. The other ones were great too, but this, oh shit. And these volumes are sort of a collector's edition for Fullmetal Alchemist, and if you know something about me, you know that Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is probably my favorite anime of all time, or on my top 3 favorite animes of all time. It is beautiful. It makes me cry. It makes me laugh. It makes me live. I feel so empathetic to the characters and to their losses and pains, and I don't know, it's amazing. It has so much character development for everyone, for the villains, for the good guys, and people make questionable decisions. They're all morally gray, and they're just trying to navigate this world, and it's just so fucking amazing. Even the secondary characters are great, as Mustang, because he's fucking great. And if you don't love Colonel Mustang, you're going to have a fucking problem with me, so better not say anything, because I love him. And yes, I am telling you to go read this or watch the animation. Whatever you want to do, just don't miss on this story, because this story is so great. Just look at his face. Look at his finger snap. It's totally a thing. Like, it's a thing in the animation when his fingers do the thing. And oh my god, I'm thinking about particular episodes and I'm going insane. I cannot do this to myself. I have to stop. And the last one that I got for this sort of thingy is not exactly a manga. It is a graphic novel, and it is the final volume of Wayward. And this is by Zub, Cummings, Bonvillain, Dillon, and Davison. I don't know their first names, but what I do know is that I love Wayward. And if you like diverse, sort of fantasy-ish, urban fantasy kind of series, you should read Wayward, because this is volume 6. It's called Bound to Fate, and it's the last freaking volume, so it's just 6 volumes. They're really short. They are not particularly that expensive if you compare them with mangas or with other volumes. And this is really great. This is about this girl, and she is half Irish, half Japanese. And she goes to Japan to live with her mother, and then she finds out that she has this thread power about fate, and she can change fates and see fates, and it has to do with Japanese mythology. It has to do with she having to band with other kids that have other different types of powers, and they have to band together to fight the yokai, which are Japanese demons in Japanese folklore. And it has to do with making your own fate, with the legends of the red threads that appear a lot in Japanese folklore. And it's beautiful. It mixes together a lot of races. It mixes together what it feels like to be sort of alone in the world, or what it feels like to be misunderstood because you have something that you can't tell anyone. And it focuses a lot on teenagers, on growing up, on what it feels like to grow up, and what it actually is. And stuff isn't perfect, and there's actually like there's prices to pay for stuff, and a lot of stuff don't go well when you want it to, and there's drama, there's sadness, there's death, there's grief, and it's beautiful. There's family matters. It's so amazing. I really love Wayward. I like the villains, but I particularly like the development of the characters and how they're all so morally gray because they're not perfect and they're not supposed to be, and that's what they learn as well. And I really enjoy all of the relationships between them, and I think that you would like this series if this is something that you like. It has fantasy, it has powers, but it also has a little contemporary into it, which I normally don't like, but I feel like it's so diverse and so nice to actually read and see it portrayed that it's really fucking cool. And it has a lot of Japanese culture, which is pretty awesome. And it also has Irish culture, which is also awesome. So we have Celtic culture and Japanese culture, and what could be better? I mean, I love both of those cultures, so of course I love this. And I haven't read this yet, but I will, because I'm so excited. I'm not reading this because it's like the final thing, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that something's going to happen because it's a final battle. Like, you have to face off your enemies, and I don't know why I'm doing this, but something is gonna go down. It's going to be shit for my feelings, so that's why I haven't read it yet, but I will. And I'll probably make a review on this. Like, I don't know. We will see. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm going to stop. Okay, so this was all for the mangas and graphic novels that I got for this month, and now I'm going to show you the 3 books that I got this month, and I'm so very happy about all of them. The first one that I'm going to show you, I won in a giveaway. Like, I know, you actually win giveaways. I never thought that was possible because I must enter, and I'm not joking, like in Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, I probably enter more than 100 giveaways per 3 months, and I never win shit, which it's fine, it's normal because it's kind of a lucky game. They pluck your name out of something, and this time I won, and I am so excited because this book has to do with dragons, and I love dragons. So this giveaway was beautifully done by the wallet Sasha, and I'm going to leave the link down below to her channel. Why am I doing this? I have no idea. And thank you, Sasha. She was great. She actually wrapped this so well wrapped, like in bubble paper, and she put the fairy loot pouch where the books come with the book, so the book wouldn't get all messed up. And when I told her that the book had come, she was like, is the book okay? Like, is it beautiful, and are you happy? Is it in perfect condition? And I was like, of course it is. You wrapped it in bubble wrap. Like, I mean, she was so careful because, I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't do the same thing because I know how important it is to have a good condition book, especially if it's new, but it was the care that she put into it. I was like, shit, thank you. It was beautiful. Like, you should have seen that wrapping. I didn't show it because it had both of our addresses, and I thought it was a little bit bad to be giving my address and her address on YouTube, but it was gorgeous, and her handwriting is beautiful. Like, I saw my name with her handwriting, and I was like, damn, I am even ashamed that I can't write like that, but that's another story all entirely. So I'm going to show the book that I won. And that book is Fire and Heist, and this one is by Sarah Beth Durst. And I was interested in this because it has dragons, or rather, were dragons. So it's supposed to be sort of a contemporary fantasy, which I was a little bit like, contemporary fantasy, I don't really like contemporary. But then I was like, but the main character is supposed to be a girl that's half girl, half dragon, or can breathe fire, because I don't know, her family has dragons in it, and heist, and those keywords. And I was like, damn, I have to try to win this book. And I did, and I'm very, very happy. So thank you, Sasha, for hosting the giveaway and for sending this to me so well wrapped and so beautifully, because it even smells good. Like, I mean, And supposedly this is the story, as I said, of a girl, and she, to become an adult, I believe, to gain power in that society, she has to lead her first heist. But in that heist, she discovers some family secrets, I believe, and nothing will be the same. And I was interested in this book as well because this author has a series called The Queen of Blood, or The Blood Queen, or whatever. I think there's 3 books in that series. The Queens of something, I don't know. And I was interested in reading that, but I haven't read that yet, so I decided to just try and see how our writing is. And yeah, I'm going to buddy read this with Sasha, and I am very happy because I really wanted to buddy read this with her. So I'm really happy that I won this, and yes, stop bragging. That's why you never win anything, because you brag. Sorry. I'm done. I finished. The next one is a really, really exciting one. I hadn't heard about this, and apparently it came out just at the end of last year, and I found it. It is in Portuguese, but there's also in English in Book Depository, and the second volume is already available in English, not in Portuguese, so sadly I will have to wait a little bit. But I still haven't read it, so I don't even know if I want the second volume, but I feel like I want the second volume. This is called, by the printing, The Chinese Lord of the Rings. And I mean, that's a bold fucking statement to call something the whatever Lord of the Rings. Like, it is. So I was so interesting, and I love Chinese movies and all of their culture and all of that drama and that historical thingies. So I was so excited for this, and my boyfriend got it for me. And this one is called Legends of Condor Heroes, and it's volume 1, A Hero Born. And this is by Jin Young, and I am beyond excited because if you don't know, last year in January I read The Lord of the Rings for the first time. I had watched the movies a long, long time ago. I rewatched them after reading each of the books. I read The Hobbit, I rewatched The Hobbit in Christmas, and I am absolutely in love with Tolkien. I really want to read the Silmarillion this year if I can. I love his writing, I love everything. So for me to see, like, if you're Portuguese, you're going to see this. Like, for me to see that this is considered the Chinese Lord of the Rings, and for me to see that this is actually really old and is just now getting published. This was made in 1959, people. And it had a lot of reprints and is now being reprinted again. So, god damn, I really want to read this. Like, I don't even know. I know that this is about this dude. So this is about an invasion of a dynasty, a Chinese dynasty, which is completely normal in their sort of history. And basically, there's this dude. He loses his dad, and while he's not yet born, and his mother escapes from Mongolia, and the dude grows up between nomads of Genghis Khan. And he is not going to be a warrior for Genghis Khan. I don't know, there's something about past designs and fate, and two heroic men with friendships beyond death, and those friendships will echo tragically in the destination of their 2 children. Surrounded by heroes and villains, Guo doesn't imagine that his future is only just beginning, and doesn't this sound amazing? Because I'm going to stop because this sounds amazing, and when I read this, I will make a review for this because I think that this will deserve it. I hope. I am really putting all of the hype on this and betting everything on this book, so I really hope that it's good because the Chinese Lord of the Rings, I mean, count me in. If it is as good or half as good as the Lord of the Rings, I will be happy already because shit. And if you guys know anything about this book, just tell me something, particularly those of you that actually read a lot of fantasy, because probably you know more about this than others. But if you know about this, tell me something because this sounds so great. I don't know, I really want to read this. This sounds so good. I don't know. And the final one, I was dying to get this book. This book is a new release of last year, so you might think, why the enjoyment? But this excitement is because this is one of my favorite authors. And this cover. Oh my god. And it's a hardcover. I cannot. I'm gonna die. This is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, and this is basically the story about this girl. Her dad was a pilot. She wants to be a pilot in this sort of post-apocalyptic sort of world where basically humanity, I think, went out of the earth because humanity couldn't be on Earth anymore, and so the place where they are now is attacked by aliens all of the time. And pilots are the only ones standing between aliens and humanity, so they're the defenders of humanity. And this girl, I don't remember her name, I don't care. She wants to be a pilot, but her dad was branded a coward because her dad left his post on an attack. So people don't want her to be a pilot, but I think that she finds some secrets out, and so she gets entrance to be a pilot. And I think that there's a pilot school, sort of like Hogwarts sort of thing, but with pilots and sci-fi. And I have to say, admittedly, I am not the biggest sci-fi reader in the universe. I am not. I don't know a lot of sci-fi, I don't read a lot of sci-fi, but sci-fi fantasy sounds really nice. And something by Brandon Sanderson with this look sounds even better. So this was a promotion, and this is gorgeous. And shit, I have to read this. This is on my top TBR to read when I can, because I haven't read Sanderson in a while, and I need my Sanderson dose. So, yeah. So that's all for this video. This video is huge. I am so sorry for this, but I really wanted to show you all of the books and manga that I got for this month. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, leave a like or subscribe. And yeah, I hope to see you soon. Happy readings to you all. Bye!